Shalom, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I give double honors to our apostles and elders of great millstones. Salutations to all you sincere brothers pushing his word across the four corners of the earth. This lesson is entitled Against All Odds. And on GMS morning page, the brother Baya, he led a sit down of his video titled F the Odds. And you can see that video right there on GMS morning's page, and it was very edifying. So the spirit hit me while we was doing that lesson, and I came up with, a few precepts, and now here's the title, Against All Odds. So you look into that term, against all odds, it goes into despite and low probability. For example, if I tell you there's going to snowstorm in May, that's against all odds because that's something very rare or very unlikely to occur. So by us going out there on the highways and the byways, proclaiming the words of Yahawah Ba'ashem to our people and to these other nations, they look at us as crazy, or the things that we are saying or prophesying as unreal, or it's just against all odds. So that's why this truth right here is going to hit so many people, mainly our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's going to hit you real hard when that time comes, and that's going to be the biggest I told you so whatsoever. So I'm going to give a few examples. You're going to see how different men of the Lord were set up in crazy situations, and it was pretty much against all odds for them to come out that situation. But with the spirit and power of Yahawah, all things are possible. So the times that we are coming to in Jacob's trouble, that's the type of mindset we got to have, and we got to reflect back to these scriptures. And this is Sirach, the 2nd chapter and the 10th verse. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? And there's many examples you can go and see of different men of the Lord in the scriptures, and different elect women as well, that Yahawah led them in the spirit and delivered them in very adverse situations. So we got to go back to the scriptures and just look at different examples like that. And that's how that builds up your faith. They trusted in Yahawah during that time of their adversity. So by example, I should do the same thing, and hopefully Yahawah will deliver me out of my different distress or adversity I'm going through, or my different trials and tribulations. We have to believe that. So those are questions right there. Did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? No. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? No. Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? No one. Because if you look at it, when the men of the Lord call upon Yahawah to deliver them in their different tribulations, Yahawah came through. It could be an example of an angel, or just have like a bird to come feed you, like in the situation with Elijah. And just different stories like that. And that builds up our faith. All right, so I got an example right here. And this is Acts, the 12th chapter and the 1st verse. Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church. You got to think about it, like guys like Herod, who was an Edomite, and he looked like one of our people, but he was definitely an Edomite by his father's lineage. So he vexed certain of the church. So Herod's back here on the earth again, and he's playing that same stead that he's going to vex the church. Pretty much going into, he's going to persecute the ones that believe in Yahawah. So those same spirits that you see that was vexing the men of the Lord or persecuting them, they are back here again today, just as the men of the Lord are back here again today. So now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison, and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, and 10 after Pesach to bring him forth to the people. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto Yahawah Ba'ashem for him. So those different apostles or men of the Lord, they was making prayers and requests to Yahawashi, and those prayers was answered. And when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with two chains, and the keepers before the door kept the prison. And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, Arise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. So Lord willing, Yahawah gives that spirit that we continue to go against this new world order set up by this so-called white man. When he try to implement his microchip, which is the mark of the beast of the scriptures, when he try to mandate that and try to get the whole nation to take it, Lord willing, we have that same spirit. Like, we're against that. So therefore, they're going to try to lock us up in these concentration camps or these FEMA camps. So if you keep declining that, they're going to put your head in the guillotine. That's the type of spirit we're supposed to have, just like Apostle Peter did. Stay strong when Yahawah. And the angel said to him, Gird thyself and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he said to him, Cast thy garment about thee and follow me. And he went out and followed him, and wist not that it was true which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision. So Yahawah delivered Apostle Peter in this situation. So how much more when we in these different burdens and adversities, we getting locked up and thrown into concentration camps, that Yahawah might send an angel and deliver us our different burdens and adversities. We have to believe that. We have to go back to the scriptures and think upon the ones that call upon Yahawah. Did he ever forsake them? No, he didn't. So Lord willing, we got to have that type of mentality and faith that he's not going to forsake us, and we continue to believe in him. We have to do our part, and you best believe that Yahawah is going to do his part as well. Okay, this is another example. This is 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter and the 1st verse. So these were like 7 brothers that bleed cold-heartedly on Yahawah. And it was presented by trying to taste swine's flesh, set up by King Antiochus. And through the spirit and power of the Most High, they accomplished that by keeping their faith in the laws, statutes, and commandments of our forefathers. And they was presented with death. And they went out with great integrity. And so this is another example to go by when times like this come around, when Esau issues out their chip. And we got to think about scriptures like this. Like this is 2 Maccabees, the 7th chapter and the 1st verse. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. So we got to be in that type of mindset, just like that, Lord willing, when Esau mandates this microchip. If he did this with like swine's flesh, just think about this microchip. Just like the scriptures say in Revelation 13 chapter, that he calls it all, both small and great. So he wants everybody to be subjected under his microchip, which is the mark of the beast of the scriptures. So I'm going to jump down to the verse 18. And it says, After him also they brought the 6th. So this is the 6th brother. The previous brothers, they died with integrity. They bleed cold-heartedly in Yahawah by just keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. And they knew in the spirit that eating swine's flesh was against the Most High's commandments. So they died with integrity and with morals. So this is the 6th brother being presented by King Antiochus to see if he was going to eat the swine flesh and give in to him. After him also they brought the 6th, who being ready to die said, Be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our power. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us. It's beautiful, man. But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against Yahawah, that thou shalt escape unpunished. So yeah, you might kill me, Esau, but at the end of the day, you're not going to escape unpunished. Because you're going to still go into slavery 1,000 years. And after that, you're going to be eradicated as a whole nation. So at the end of the day, you can get your little laugh right now. But the real men of Yahawah, the elect other nation of Israel, we're going to get that last laugh. And that's going to be the best laugh right there. So that's why that brother said, thou shalt escape unpunished. So Esau can put us to death with his guillotines or with his different type of weaponry, whatever type of plan he has for us in these concentration camps. But at the end of the day, once he put us to death, our spirits now is with Yahawah, and we are counted as martyrs by believing in the testimony of Yahawah. Therefore, we know that Esau is not going to go unpunished. So we got to think about scriptures like this to build up our faith. All right, this is my last scripture right here. This is one of my favorite scriptures. And this is 2 Maccabees, the 15th chapter. I'll start at the 6th verse. So Nicanor, in exceeding pride and haughtiness, determined to set up a public monument of his victory over Judas and them that were with him. But Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him. So the brother of Judas Maccabeus had confidence. You look up that word confidence, it goes into with faith. So he had much faith that Yahawah was going to help him in this situation. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them. So when Esau coming down on us with his martial law in the times of Jacob's trouble, we got to have that type of mentality like Judas Maccabees. Don't fear the coming of the heathen against us. Because look at in past times how Yahawah has delivered his men in certain situations. So how much more now will he deliver us? And this is the last of the last days right here. So wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven. And that leads right back up with Sirach, the 2nd chapter and 10th verse. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So back in 2 Maccabees, the 15th chapter and the 8th verse. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which shall come unto them from the Almighty. We got to expect that victory and aid coming from Yahawah in these type of troublesome times that we about to get ready to approach. So that's going to be against all odds, because we are like the less favorable in this situation. So for example, you might have that low ranked basketball, football team, and they make it into the playoffs, and they got to go against that top ranked team. And the odds are all against that lower ranked team. You might have on that top ranked team, the players might be bigger, faster, and stronger. The coach might have more experience. The team are known in their history by making it always into the playoffs every year and winning the championship every year. So here is the lower ranked team getting recognition now going against this top ranked team. So they're against all odds. And that lower ranked team actually wins and beat that top ranked team. So now they about to get more recognition. They get more famous. The outcome is more greater because they was against all odds. The odds was all against this lower ranked team because it was never expected for them to come about and win this championship. They was despite it in low probability. So how much more us speaking against this country, America, aka Babylon the Great, and letting people know that it's going to be nuclear missiles that hit this place, and this whole landmass is going to be laid desolate. Only the elect of the nation of Israel is going to be saved, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This so-called white men who are the biblical Edomites, they're going to slavery, and they're going to be under us and these other nations. Because our people can't think like that, because they don't have the spirit and power of Yahawah on them. They see this so-called white man ruling forever. They see themselves working in America forever. America is their continuing city. So by us presenting those words to them and proclaiming the words of Yahawah via these scriptures, we're against all odds. Here we are as so-called nobodies. As the scripture says in the book of Corinthians, we are the offscouring of the earth. Here we are prophesying against this country. And this country's been ruling for many years on this so-called white man's hands. So we're against all odds. But the sweet thing about it, Yahawah, he loves dealing with that small dog. Going against that big dog. That magnifies the name of Yahawah. His strength is in lower numbers because that's how he shows his strength. Just like it says in the book of Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, he did not choose the Israelites because we were more in number than any people, for we were the fewest of all people. So Yahawashi, he loves dealing with those small numbers, against all odds. That's why it says in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, they should be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Because we're going against everything in the society, all these different religions, because these different religions, they preach about everybody can be saved. Here we are saying only the nation of Israel can be saved. And on top of that, the elect of the nation of Israel be saved. So we're going against all odds on every aspect that you can think of. But through the spirit power of Yahawashi, we're going to prevail and overcome. Because this is already written. The elect of the nation of Israel is going to win. And that championship is by gaining the kingdom of heaven for eternity. And that's what we believe in. So against all odds. And with that, I hope you all were edified. Shalom.